All right. We are back again here for a little bit of some extra football action. I hope everyone's Saturday is going well. If you have a college team, I hope they're doing better than the last time I saw the update on the Texas A&M game, because that was not looking good for the number 3 team in the nation. We'll be getting through some preseason games today. At least I imagine two. Might be the full preseason. We'll kind of see how the games go, and if we get the updates and hopefully some good performances that we're hoping to find out. And on top of that, talk about a potential major trade. Gaming Monster, welcome on in. We will be getting through at least the Chargers and Patriots game, like I said. We'll see if we get into that Browns game or not. Another thing we do have to talk about is an update as well to the roster. Doing good, Monster. How about you? Just checking some of the updates around the league here. College, at least. And Texas A&M actually came back and won that game. Wow. That's what I get for talking a little bit of some trash, I guess. Wow, what a second half. Just checking the box score of that one. They scored 21 points in the third. South Carolina, absolutely let that game get away. Pitt, though, could not overcome Notre Dame. Michigan barely beating Northwestern. Navy beat South Florida. Once again, this season, and even in the NFL this year, complete chaos every single week. Luckily, that was not quite the case for us last season, but stepping into a new season here, New York Giants, and we will start with a couple little updates to the roster here that I did after the draft in between episodes, and some of that has come with some changing of player names, some appearances, a couple ratings to match the last imports here from the Stanford Cardinal dynasty with our current head coach, Coach Bearington. So a few of those guys have joined, a few more than actually a few. One of which just happened to line up with our roster in the round that we ended up taking. The DT, he was actually listed at a left or right end. We moved him to DT. He was the only DT taken in that round. So that means Maurice Alakai is joining Coach Bearington yet again. So we get a guy from the Cardinal. Now we also have another guy who might be a starter this year in Ben Vallejo. So we'll see how these guys end up doing. I did tweak around some of the ratings to match the player, but the overall here of now Maurice Alakai did not go up. So he stays the same overall. I think it was a switch maybe from finesse to a power focus. Block shedding stayed the same. Awareness maybe would have gone up or down a couple ratings. Nothing major of changes, just again matching other players, and a lot of other teams definitely saw a massive boost with these changes, including the number 1 overall selection to the Saints. Quarterback Justin Sorensen comes in at a 79 overall. He is a hidden dev. Brady Welch, welcome in. So since Jackson Dart now has 2 rings already in his career, where does he rank all time? We'll check in on where Dart is. As for Justin Sorensen, hidden dev, 79 overall, joining us again from that Stanford Cardinal series. He's going to have good amount of speed, good throw power. Again, the accuracies resemble what they did in college to the best of my gauging, including the injuries and all that. We definitely did change around a few of that. And the Minnesota Vikings, they now have 2 middle linebackers, or off-ball linebackers, I should say, from our series. Greg Lovelace joins the former Defensive Player of the Year for the NFC side in Damian Dragan. A phenomenal rookie year from him. So Vikings definitely going to work here, and there is a good long list, so I'm just going to pull up that list so we don't end up missing anybody. As for our team, the only addition was Maurice Alakai. Let's see, Vikings also have another one of our former players at left end, Joseph Henry. I want to say as a redshirt sophomore, was in the running for the Heisman. Nathan Henderson, another one of guys from our former series. Did end up taking that, so Joseph Henry is joining the Minnesota Vikings, another hidden dev. I'm sure they'll look to get him on the field rather early. Anyone else here for the Vikings, or are we good to move on? We are good to move on. All right, so next, Panthers. Panthers, I want to say, already do have a couple of our players. And this one will be J.P. Waddle, linebacker. Now, Waddle did not have that much playing time for us, actually, in that Stanford Cardinal dynasty. Really good overall, but just didn't play as much. Monster saying, how did you import them to Madden? I just went in and, according to the draft, and looking at the overalls from the college football, which would have been college football 25, rough gauge on where I assumed they would be drafted, so round, and then I just went in and edited the player. So a lot of the ratings are that of the original player. Only things that were tweaked would be athleticism, if they were a power versus a finesse, or more of a man coverage versus zone, things like that. So J.P. Waddle, I remember him very much as being a high athletic caliber guy, but he didn't quite have the run stopping. He didn't quite have the coverage ability. He was just very athletic. So with that, we're going to resemble that here with J.P. Waddle. We're going to see if any of these guys end up doing anything in the league. Bradley, my bad. If Jackson Dart can three-peat with the Giants, where does he rank all time? Or just overall for me in general, where I would rank him, or specifically in the series? Because we could definitely check where he ranks in the series. Panthers also have a corner from that Stanford series in Rico Body. He was a great cornerback for us, now joins the Carolina Panthers. He's going to come in with some solid man. Pretty good zone. Press is going to be a little bit low, but he was a fast guy, so once again, he will be fast here, 96 speed. Anyone else for the Panthers? Where would you personally rank him? All right, so all-time 3 rings. That's not going to be more than Brady by any means. Nor do I think Dart has played anywhere to that level of Brady. In fact, this year he was very much carried by Cameron Scattaboo. I would probably put him in a similar spot to a Russell Wilson, which was obviously in real life a quarterback he is currently with, at least for now, because I think right now he's very much a scheme-related quarterback. Anyone else here outside of Body for the Panthers? No. All right, so we'll move on to the next one then. We got Henry Steelers. Steelers have one of our former safeties. Strong safety, Tyrone Heggie. He was a starter for us, I want to say 2 to 3 years in that Stanford dynasty. He's going to come in very much zone-oriented. In fact, he's the kind of safety we were hoping to find in the offseason, ended up not being able to. Potentially down the line, who knows? Maybe we do see him again. Did forget one man here on the Saints, so we'll jump back over to the Saints. And continuing to block for his high school quarterback, listed at tackle. I want to say left tackle. No, but Miles Vaughn is already there. So the Saints not only have, or actually, they both are listed here. So we'll see where they line them up. Miles Vaughn, they drafted him in the first offseason. This offseason, they draft Cliff Robinson. So 2 tackles that had blocked for Justin Sorensen are still with him here in the series. And he's a really good balanced offensive lineman. He was that in college football, so he will be that here. Is Cam Scattaboo a top 10 running back all time with 3 rings? Well, I think you already have to put him in that conversation, not even talking about potentially 3 rings, which hopefully we will have in this series. But he also broke LaDainian Tomlinson's rushing touchdown record last year. And obviously with that, the Giants in Joe Morris's record. So he's already in the stat sheet, or in the NFL stat sheet, I should say. Next up here would be with the Bills. Going to stick with offensive line. We'll get through this as quickly as possible and then actually get into game action. Viliami Ringo. joins a center for us that didn't see much playing time, as we did have some better centers at the time, but again, high overall, was a rotational guy. I think he even played a little bit of guard for us. Really solid center here. The NFL in general, in this game, at least at this point in time, does lack center talent. So for the Bills, really good pick for them. I think that was the only one on the Bills as well. Ravens have a player. I think they just have one player. And they add him at receiver. Not a huge name, but a solid player throughout our time, the Stanford Cardinal dynasty, in Paul Thrash. 6'4", 218. He was that possessive type player and is going to bring that here with the good release, speed to match. He wasn't a burner at Stanford. And that is all of the Ravens picks. We saw Sorensen. We saw Alakai for us. Seahawks. Seahawks already had a dominant secondary in this series, even in real life. They add to it at cornerback, Manu Cave. He picked off a lot of passes for us. 6'1", just under 200 pounds. He's a press man corner with a little bit of upside of developing that zone. So the Seahawks secondary is elite. And on top of that, he could pick off a lot of balls. Again, we talked about he did that in Stanford. 77 catching for him. And that's just a stacked group here. You could say 4 to 5 down for the Seahawks. And 2 more remaining. We go with the young wonder, who is now with the Rams. Honestly, a very fitting pick. A lot of, I would totally went the wrong way on that. A lot of Stanford guys end up going to the Rams or the 49ers in real life. They stay over at the Bay. But joining, again, a really good group of receivers is Jordan Lockett. He was a redshirt freshman starter for us for a couple of years. He ends up going as a redshirt junior. In fact, redshirt sophomore, actually. Jordan Lockett. And he's going to be, again, a high leverage guy downfield, though the deep route running, not as polished. He was more of just get the speed downfield and see if we could throw it to him, and Justin Sorensen did that quite often. The last one we have to look at, another offensive lineman. This one did change positions because there was not a player taken in the round I would have thought, so I didn't want to change things too much. I want to say he was a guard, now moving to center again, addressing the lack of centers here in Madden. Pete Morton, a hidden dev, is going to come in 70 overall, fitted a little bit more towards the run, a little bit more towards the finesse, but overall very well balanced. He's just not as strong. He is more of that agile type. But that is all of the updates to players who were drafted in this last draft class. They will be the final players added. If you were here for the Stanford Cardinal dynasty and you remember Taj Jewell, he was a running back that we had, saw a little bit of playing time the last year, had some upside, but we didn't get far enough in that series to really see him take over. We could add him as a running back in the next draft if you want. If you do, let me know in the comments below. We might also post a poll on that as well. There were other changes to this roster, but I'm not going to announce what those are at this point. You could see a little bit of a sneak peek on the right-hand side here. Tyrone Tracy Jr., boom, breaking. Wan'Dale Robinson, another breaking. Trades have been made. We have not made all of the trades yet. And that is why we still have a glitchy Madden here with 2 trade offers coming in. And there is something I do want your opinion on, because it is a dramatic trade for sure. But the only one that seems interesting to me, Tennessee Titans Nathan Oliver was the AFC's Defensive Rookie of the Year. And at the end screen, the end of the year, the recap had him over Damian Dragan as the top rookie for the defense. And on top of that, a future 1 and a 7th for Dexter Lawrence, who will be turning 30 after this year. And on top of that, he's also out of a contract after this year, so we would have to pay him quite a bit of money. Nathan Oliver is going to be moving into his 2nd year, so we're just going to take one more moment here, take a look at him, because I want everyone's thoughts on this trade. Now, we are not needy at corner, but Paulson Adebo, he's out of contract after this year, so we would have to pay him more money. Drew Phillips, actually, no, I think Paulson Adebo we have for an extra year or two. Drew Phillips is out of contract after this year, out of his rookie contract. So that number is going to jump way up. Deonte Banks, I think, might also be, or we might have him for an extra year. So there's a lot of unknown on this roster. Corey Black really hasn't seen the field, so he hasn't developed. We did draft Tremaine Roseman. He's strictly a man press corner. There is no zone there. So we have some flexibility. Might also have some flexibility to then move one of those corners to the safety spot. We could trade Tyler Nubin. But that all hinges on what you all think on the Titans' second-year corner. So we'll take a look here at Nathan Oliver, a superstar dev. 6 foot 202, 24 years old, out of Tulane. He's very much man, but he still has the good base of zone. Press is not bad, and he would be our most athletic corner, who has 76 catching. With that, he had, I believe, 3 interceptions. Yeah, 3 interceptions as a rookie. We did not force many turnovers last year. That's a focus this year I would like to see the defense do more of. So that's something that we all do need to consider, and this trade should still be on the table throughout the preseason. We won't quite get to through the end. We will not get to week 1. We will at least get to that week 3 preseason, maybe even through that to the bye. That is the plan for today, but that all means we actually have to jump into some games and get to learn some things. So while we're watching these, just keep an eye on the corners and leave me your thought process on that trade. We could even potentially bring in another receiver in that trade, foregoing that late round pick, maybe moving up that first round pick to the next year. Some options for us, but let's actually get some game action underway here. We're going to jump into the first one against the Chargers. I don't plan on having the starters out there much at all today. We're going to take a strict look at the secondary guys and see what they can do. Because stepping into this year, we talked about in that last stream in the offseason, trying to make this a little bit more difficult. So we're going to try to make that difficult, see some new players, while at the same time trying to have some good games. So as we try to have some good games, let's get my face off of here and focus in on these games. In the comments, you could go ahead and put what you think we're going to do, who your favorite player is of these young guys, who you think's going to stand out, who you want to see get some more playing time. We'll be underway here with Hoffman set back to return. He's up for a lot more playing time this year as well. Tried to angle to the left, but taken down by Greer. Now, haven't changed any of the depth chart yet, so Dart is going to showingly step out onto the field, but that is just a nod to the fans because he will not be out there. We're going to get some of these backups in. And I think first up, we're going to take a look at Luke Ray. Daniel Jones is the backup. Do you want to see how he does? He'll get some playing time. We have a new running back. You'll find out how we got Trevor Etienne as we open up the next episode on Tuesday. We'll go through all the different trades. Also another new guy here. And Israel Abanikanda. Probably butchering that one. That is my bad. We still have Donovan Edwards as well. But definitely trying to get a few different options in there. We'll get Young on the outside. Vallejo can be on the outside. Wells. Get Vallejo in the mix. Do we have... Yeah, we do have one more. Redding. Take over there for Johnson. And then there was one more here in Borland. There we go. So we'll get all the young receivers out there. They're going to be going up against the ones. We did find a, not a UDFA, second year player in Evan Conway. So we're going to see what he can do as well out at tight end. Very similar overalls between the three. Obviously, Fedoni is going to be one of our, or it will be our fullback. We do not have backups for the defense or the offensive line, so it's just going to be the starters there. Hopefully, they do stay healthy. Get some of the young guys in here. Already did make one change because I wanted or had to grab the thumbnail for this episode. So this is the plan right now and what it could look like. Jones, Alexander starting, Alakai rotating in the base package at DT. We will be keeping the starters at the linebacker spot because I need to see how they do. Cornerback-wise, let's get Banks on the outside. like Roseman to be that third option. And Franklin, who I think was a practice squad guy, I don't remember picking him up, but he's going to get out there. I'm going to see what he could do. As for the safeties, we will see what the backup safeties can do throughout the remainder of this game. But as for those DTs, base package we saw, it's going to be different when it comes to the rush defense. Rush DTs, Alexander and Alakai with Jones coming off the bench. In fact, Alakai looks like he should actually be that number one. Nose tackle will be Alexander and Alakai, so it's definitely going to rotate quite a bit. Jones could end up actually stepping in there, but right now he doesn't have as good of block shedding ability. As for these running backs, switch them up again. Sure, we'll put an Edwards there. Power back ETN, good luck. And then Vallejo, Hoffman, and Wells in the slot. So now we are ready to actually jump on into this game and take a look at some of these young guys. Luke Ray, second year, did see some playing time. ETN was stuck on a roster, not seeing much playing time, so we'll see what he could do. He's more of the speed to the power of Scattaboo, which I think is very fitting as he does take over for Tracy's role, who will be a starter on a new team. That was one of the focuses for me in making these trades. Hoffman out in space. He's got some speed and scampers out at the 44. Now, we will be running this offense different than how we would in actual games because we're going to stress test these guys. At the 44, play action. Looking to go over the top here. The rookie in Young is tipped away. He's got some height to him. Did not help him out that time. The 44-yard line here still. It's 2nd and 10. Following the block there, Enrique German with a good block and some shiftiness from ETN. I'm going to say Travis Etienne. I know it at least 30 times. Good news is, on normal episodes, you could edit that out. You won't even know. But we're definitely keeping an eye on number 64 at center. On top of that, 71 at right tackle. Both are new starters for us this year, if we look to keep them around. And Ray will dump this one off. It's Fedoni. He'll pick up about 7. Now, obviously, we could look to find a true fullback, move Fedoni to the tight end spot like he's supposed to be at. But he's just played so well at fullback. Playing 2 years at that, I think it's better we keep him there. ETN with space cannot completely get by the safety, and an injury here to Henley for the Chargers. And we will be keeping exactly what happens in this as the actual true. And I think last year when we did the preseason, we ended up not. But we will be keeping this as the actual run here. So any injuries that take place will carry on into the start of the regular season. We actually lose a yard on that run. Down to the 13, though. It's a red zone trip here for Luke Ray. Bunch left-hand side, Hoffman to the right. And Luke Ray will squeeze it in, but Hoffman cannot squeeze the ball. That's not going to get him much of any extra playing time. He's in a tight race for that number 3 spot. Not a heavy used spot on this roster, but still important nonetheless here. Luke Ray scrambling just short. Referees not giving us anything extra here in preseason. And Henley returns to the game, so that's good news. But I don't think it's any surprise here to keep the offense on the field. It's preseason. We've got 4th and millimeters at the 2. Theo Johnson making a rare appearance here for the preseason. He's going to motion over to the left-hand side. Handing this one off, and that one is close. Turnover on downs. Chargers get the stop. Giants not able to find the millimeters there, but the Chargers getting a good push right down the center. Good blitz as well there from Still. Or you might have just read it very well. Justin Herbert coming out. It will be the number 1s facing the number 2s on defense. We'll see how they respond. The only starters for us on defense is the linebacker group. A lot of new starters there. How do they hold up? With a run to Hampton, he's got 5. Rookie getting the tackle. That was the guy we traded up for. Wasn't a massive trade up, I want to say 3 to 4 spots. He makes the first tackle for us preseason. Got Alakai and Alexander out there, 90 and 91. And stepping up, Herbert gets by Carter, a bad angle, sliding down, first down to about the 20. So far, not much of contain there. Jones will step in this formation. Johnson on the outside and Walker. A pair of young defensive ends, and Walker bit hard on that one. Passes out for the first down. In fact, I'm not even really calling the plays here, so let's shake it up. Call what we actually would here in these circumstances. Andrews is the rookie to keep an eye on, as it is going to be play action here for Herbert. Throws out to the flat because for some reason no one covers the flat in Madden. I don't know if you've noticed that, but it's definitely been a problem. One thing we could trial here is the flats. Let's have them sit 5. That's only going to help in terms of zone coverage, not obviously in man. We'll find out. See if that just helps out, because most of the time there is no one in the flat. Motion to the outside here for Herbert. Breaking up the bunch and taking his time here. For the quick throw outside. Good matchup. Carter not able to keep up. That'll be a problem if we run much man coverage. Carter, I mean, is a solid cover guy, but by far, Sanders is our man coverage linebacker. Pass over the middle and a missed breakup there by Andrews, the rookie linebacker. And coverage is definitely his weak spot, and Alexander jumps off sides without even a hard count given. We really need him to step up this year. Can't afford these little mistakes if we are indeed going to move on, and the plan is to move on from Sexy Dexy. At the 30-yard line here. Tight. And it will be play action on the blitz, but the pass is out. Andrews, open field tackle is clean. Now he will see some playing time this year as that number 3 linebacker. We'll see if he could stand out and rival either Sanders, most likely Carter, for some more playing time. Johnson with a great run defense on the outside. And he's a pure edge rusher. It's really good to see here in preseason some of these young guys doing things that their ratings don't necessarily say they can do. He's going to rotate out, though. We actually bring in the starter edge rushers right here for 3rd and 9. Decent pressure there from Alakai, but the pass is out and down to the 6. Poor coverage downfield. Defense could look to tighten things up here, though, now around the 5-yard line. 3 receiver spread, but a 4-3 defensive look. And over the middle is broken up. There we go. Need the rookie to make some plays out there. He'll exit the field, though, as we have 2nd and goal. Now a nickel look here for the defense. Herbert looking to go to the air. He's got options, scrambling out, and Wilcox cannot bring him down in time. So the 2nd team defense versus the Chargers starters easily march down the field. Not a problem for them. I was just checking that list again. I feel like I had someone on the Chargers, but I guess not, unless it was from the previous season. No. So I'm just losing my mind a little bit here. But the defense, not a great showing. Offense drove, but didn't find the end zone, turning it over on downs. And 98 yards later, Chargers take the lead. Now, I don't expect necessarily the 2nd team guys to make big plays against the starters, but if they want to see some playing time, we're going to have it as Hoffman finds some space. It closes around him as he passes the 40-yard line. Good return. That's why we brought him in. Specifically, we drafted him to be a return man. Now he just has the opportunity, if he does well here this preseason, to get some snaps actually at receiver. We start with the I form. A lot of pro-style looks here for Coach Bearington. Motion it even. And Etienne shucks one, but will not get by the second. German's definitely a guy to keep an eye on. That's for sure. I've seen him get backed up. He gave up that interior pressure that stuffed the 4th and inches try last time. 2nd and 9 here. Pressure instead goes through the right tackle, Mbo. That is Brian Brissy. So he moves over from the Saints. And we find ourselves at the end of the first quarter here. Game 1. Offense, defense, showing a little bit, but are they showing enough? Leaving a 3rd and 15 as we get the second quarter underway here. Wells, Hoffman, and Vallejo on the field with a split backfield. And now it's Daniel Jones in the game. He's going to roll right-hand side. Looking to take a shot downfield. It's to Wells, double covered and picked off by St. Juice. And a bad angle there taken by Vallejo. Definitely not a defensive player by any means. Daniel Jones' first snap is basically an arm punt. Monster, would you ever trade Jackson Dart? No, not in this series. If we ever, come back to a Giants in terms of maybe like a forced coaching carousel type of moment or something like that, maybe. It'll depend. He's just developed well here for us. A good scheme fit, as we mentioned. Good run here into the linebackers. Good flow. Again, there has been a rotation to this defense now. Madden forces that in the preseason. So in terms of what we're looking at right now, Dexter Lawrence is out there. We don't need that. So we will have to go in and shake a couple things up for sure. Don't need Dexter Lawrence getting hurt, and then we can't do anything about it. Intercepted Corey Black, the man with the wrong face in this game, but he's getting outside, and a good return off the pick sets up Daniel Jones in the offense at the 34-yard line. That is what we need from this defense this year. It's against the twos, so it's not the same. We saw what Herbert did, but good coverage there. I think is one of the backup linebackers, McLeod maybe, picked off Corey Black, who arguably should have some more playing time. And with that, let's make sure we have the guys out there we actually want to see out there. I want Ray to continue, seeing what he could do. Running back looks good. Receiver, Hoffman, Wells, not exactly what we're looking for here. Give me Young back in there. Definitely don't need a corner. Rest of it looks like it should be good then. So let's just reorder this real quick. We'll get some of these other guys in the second half of things. We'll try Hoffman on the outside. Let's see what he can do. Keep Fedoni there. Going to have to change fullback, or actually wait. No, fullback was right. Tight end. We'll have Peak come in second. Offensive line is going to be whatever the offensive line is. We have to find some backups there for sure. Walker and Johnson, good. Alexander, Alakai. Wilson, you could go there. And then Lawrence there. Switch there. And where is Hunter Jones? There we go. We're going to try Hunter Jones as that number 1 DT, which basically just changes who lines up in the, basically a 1 tech or a 3 tech. As for linebacker, Andrews still there. Do want to see a little bit of McLeod, but I also want to see Carter out on that field, so we will put Carter instead of Sanders. Just to get some more looks at them. Banks can stay there. Let's get Corey Black on the outside. Yeah, that stays good. We don't have the depth there, so I don't want receivers playing corner. Wilcox still in. Rainey still in. Looking good there. Etienne, Edwards. Let's actually put Edwards as... My bad. Edwards in as the power back. I want to see what he could do in that role. And then slot receiver. I still want to see Vallejo there. And then in turn, let's get Borland and Redding as the backups. The other guys are playing on the outside. Got Davis in, Walker in, Alakai, Alexander Jones. Looks good there. Nose tackle, Jones, Alexander. Yeah, let's try that. Oh, One more thing got too antsy. Sub linebacker does need to get some things changed up here. That was Deion Jones, actually, who popped that one up. So not one of the young guys. That is a little bit unfortunate. Let's have Andrews out there as the primary. McLeod can be the second. Again, just to get some other looks, I want Rosemond in the slot. Then we could get Franklin. And if we got to do something weird, Rainey can come in. Sure. Okay. Jumping back in, following the interception, offense takes over at the 31. Daniel Jones, 1 pass, 1 interception. He's back out of this game. ETN with a good cutback left-hand side. Breaks the tackle there, too. Stop, though, about the 20. I still have to check out his pass coverage ability because he had a high rating there. So we have to see if we could fit that into this offense a little bit. Play action. Rolling right-hand side. Open up late, but good defense. Ray was trying to find the dump off there. And Abanaconda? Let me know if I'm pronouncing that right. The 2nd and 10. Pass over the middle, off the mark. Luke Ray. That one, I believe, intended for Hoffman, who did get a good break there on the route. Young will come in here. High, tall guy to check for that back corner. Luke Ray rolls to the outside here. He will dump this, though, to the flat. ETN spins off of 1. Again, cannot get by the 2nd. Good tackle in open field. This time, though, we will settle for the field goal because we have a new kicker out there. Got to see. As this one leans a little left, but is good. Graham Gano moves on. Schrader, his replacement, was on the practice squad for us last year. He hits his first attempt. It also means we have a new kickoff guy as well. The punter, Gillian. Pushes this one back, caught about the 5. Rice upended by Deontay Banks. So far, still not seeing anyone stand out. Interception came with help of a veteran the last time. And that veteran was brought in to help out some of these young guys. Looking for 4 verts here, but dumping it off instead. Sanders bouncing around. He picks up 9. In that underneath coverage. Need more of it. Need this defensive line as well to get some pass rush facing the backups. And they force the rollout here. Davis, good contain. I believe he's a UDFA signing. Good loss on the play, pushing them back to 3rd and 7. Sent the house. House picks up the stop. The 3rd down here. Chargers, they need 7. Empty set here. Obviously looking to go to the air. Couple options underneath. Looking to scramble out. Andrews, with some help, takes him down short. That should be a punt forced here. And indeed it will be. At least they're going to line up in it. Hoffman set back to return. He's got a lot of speed. You want to find ways to utilize that this year. At least a little bit more than just in the return game. The good blocks in front, a little bit too much shake and bake perhaps. ETN, though, he's running well. 7 rushes, 58 yards. He was 3rd on the depth chart. Can't remember what team we traded him from or traded for him from. Grammer. The 1st and 10 here at the 31 is going to be play action. Luke Ray has an option over the middle. Good adjustment on that is Hoffman to the 50. Not too bad of a pass either. Very similar to what we've seen from Dart. And an extremely long hurry up as well coming from the Giants. Ball actually just plus side by the 50. To the line and snapping it quickly. ETN somehow breaks a couple tackles. He picks up 8. Looking a whole lot like Tracy out there. Again, is it the players or is it just Coach Bearington finding good pieces for his offense? At the 42 now, bringing the blitz are the Chargers. Hoffman downfield. Though that pass will be a little bit short, and he almost ended up in the right place after the pass deflection. I think St. Juice is probably looking for his second interception. Still leaving 3rd and 2 here. A 3rd and a long 2, just over 2. That's going to be Etienne. Good setup blocks. He gets that speed outside and stiff arms to polish off the run. 9 carries, 84 yards. That trade, I think, is going to pan out very well for us. Find out more about that on Tuesday. Play action here. Throws a little bit too lofted to Fedoni. Similar problem there with Luke Ray to some of the passes we see as well from Jackson Dart. Just sometimes floats them too much. 2nd and 10. A little RPO. The second running back checks in. He'll get the carry following those hog maulers. Running through 1 down to the 5. That's a really good first impression here. And he was just sitting as a free agent. Was not involved in a trade. We just picked him up around, I want to say 71 overall. Luke Ray for the second time down around the 5. 1st and goal, facing the blitz. It's lofted out. Ben Vallejo down to the 2. And we'll look to go hurry up here. Defense sitting a little bit more inside rather than outside. Threading it in and through the hands. Not looking good there, Young. We'll have to change it up now here. Thinking more of a stick concept. Yeah. Let's go empty stick. Bunch right-hand side. Etienne to the left could be a really solid option depending on what that outside man does. They bite in. Easy throw. Easy read. Etienne. Trevor, not Travis, with his first touchdown here for the Giants, and we take the lead. Just about 3 minutes to play here in the first half. Luke Ray's second attempt down in the red zone. Hands out here for us. Or actually, that'd be 3rd time. 3rd time, because technically, field goal last time. I don't know if we count that as a success. And I also don't like that you can't skip through these. Makes my file formats a little bit larger than I would hope sometimes. Which is, it's a behind the scenes thing, completely different. But recording a single game of Madden, file size typically ends up being around 24 or so gigabytes, converting from 2K down to 1080. As for college football, really good return there from the Chargers. But for college football, same scale down, and it's basically like a half this file size, typically around like 14 gigs, which is crazy. A little behind the scenes things player for you. Gaming Monster, thanks for tuning in. We'll check you later, bud. Again, make sure you're here on Tuesday where we start the actual series. Or you can also watch this stream later whenever you got time. We'll background something or whatnot. But hope you have a good rest of your day, bud. But we're still waiting to see someone on defense step up here for us. Have not seen many good plays. Alakai gets some early pressure, but to the outside, Corey Black at least keeps it 3rd and inches. Guess you could say he's making somewhat of a name. We already know that he's a guy that should see some more playing time. We just don't currently have it outside of the nickel formations. Now, as a 2-minute warning hits here, it is 3rd and inches. Sanders the back with the fullback in between him and the quarterback. Motion left-hand side. Will look to be a pass, and Maurice Alakai with the sack. Wow, it's been a long time since we've gotten to say that. Maurice Alakai rejoins Coach Bearington, and in his first game picks up a clutch sack on 3rd and inches. That's the fun part about adding players from other series, former series, into ongoing series. Kind of building almost our own universe here, the Coach Bearington universe. Hoffman, though, good try on that spare. So we will have just over a minute to work with here. We do have 3 timeouts. And Luke Ray work his way down the field with basically wide receiver 3 to 7 on a roster. Backup running backs in there as well. Pressure immediately down the middle, though that was Tafoya who gave that up. The rookie from last year. And he didn't give up a single sack last year. Gave up some pressures, not sacks. Passes out to Etienne, and his speed will not get outside. LA calls their timeout here as we've done nothing but go backwards. So with a 3rd and 20, we snap the ball at the 5-yard line. Hoffman right-hand side, he's got some speed. Young over on the left-hand side. Someone separate. No, Luke Ray taken down in the end zone. That'll be a safety for the Chargers, and the offensive line crumbles that drive. Kyle Kennard, he'll pick up 2 and gets the ball back for the Chargers. All right. Good job, Madden. I really hope the NFL did not sign an exclusivity contract. Wouldn't be against seeing a NFL 2K game come back. 1st and 10 here, short field, but pressure, and this time it's going to be Alexander. That's what we need to see, though, from this interior of this defense. We're going to rotate a lot of guys there right now. All those guys that are seeing playing time on the field, they could be starters, rotational starters. Can't really say that we have one more than the other outside of maybe Alexander. Passes to the flat, Roseman with a bad step in. Timeout called there. Will be 3rd and 6 here for the Chargers. Strip set to the right-hand side. No more timeouts remain for the Chargers. And a good pass breakup. It's Deontay Banks at the 40. I doubt they're doing anything here. They actually do trot out the field goal unit. They got Dicker, the kicker, kicking this one about a 57, 58-yarder. Not an NFL record by any means, but he might have been able to spare an extra yard or 2. Field goal is good. That's a 5-point swing here late in the first half for the Chargers. Now we do still have all of our timeouts, 39 seconds to work with. The Chargers kick this one off. Borland in to return it. He looks to find some space, but middle closes around him. About 3 seconds come off the clock. Etienne, a lot of showing in the running game. Haven't seen anything massively impressive from the passing game. See what Luke Ray can do here. They look to find somewhere to go. Instead, Luke Ray will scramble forward, picking up about 9. Timeout called here, Coach Bearington. Now we still want to play a little bit more towards the sideline, try to save ourselves some of these timeouts. Just under 30 seconds now. And throwing just out from the pressure, finding Conway. Free agent addition post-draft. See if he could do enough to really stay on roster, because it would be free for us to cut him if he's not any more impressive than Pete. We also have a rookie tight end as well as Luke Ray. Not a great scrambler. We'll have one more timeout to use here in the first half, trying to get at least into field goal range. See the new range of our kicker and Schrader. He hit one earlier, but from shorter distance. And Ray again scrambling here. He's trying to do his best Jackson Dart impression. He's missing about 10 plus to that speed. Instead, we're looking at an awkward 12-10 score line here. The 45-yard line, about 5 more yards. Might be field goal range here, but you got 13 seconds. No way of stopping that clock. Throwing downfield and forcing one. Really not forced, it was just way underthrown. St. Juste gets his second interception of the first half. One on Luke Ray, one on Daniel Jones. And it looks like they'll look to run this one to the break. Good run defense, though. Like to see the defense not give up anything there. Instead, a TFL McLeod involved. Why don't you just run that clock? There we go. We'll send it to halftime here. So a couple guys making some plays. Nothing necessarily standing out. Maurice Alakai with a sack there in the first half. Alexander had a sack. Corey Black had an interception. Defense in general has done okay. ETN has looked impressive on offense, but that has been about it offensively. And in fact, we might just go through this whole game with the current guys in, and then over the next 2 games, we might focus in on one side over the other, just to get a little bit more of a dialed-in look on certain things while not keeping this stream too long. I know a lot of you guys want to hit your college team. Some craziness already happening earlier today. Texas A&M was down, 30-3, came back to win 31-30. Defense out on the field here, and there's some pass rush. It's Maurice Alakai back again. Love seeing that pressure. Would also love to see some good coverage downfield. 2nd and 10 here. Andrews sends himself on the blitz, forces the scramble, no contain, and a first down and more. Big hit, though, comes in Wilcox. Only unfortunate part is Velez actually holds on to that ball. And first down to the 50-yard line. Play action, throws wide open, tight end. That is Allen Wilcox back again. Having to see too much from the deep safety making tackles here. They haven't really ran the ball that much, so we're not seeing a good run right now. Though as I say that, they do go to the run. Good Phil McLeod, and that is what he does best. The late to mid-round pick. The linebacker is definitely a necessity for us this offseason, and finding who's going to take over for Bobby Okereke. 2nd and 9, going back to the air here, or scrambling out McLeod with the speed to collapse on Velez. You saw his speed earlier this drive. Don't want to see it again. Setting up a 3rd and 1 here. Going to be a tight shotgun look. Defense making a couple adjustments. We'll be back to the air. And Velez scrambling. McLeod and Alakai combined for the stop short of the line to gain. Will be 4th and 1 here. Trying to get out of the awkward 12 points will be Dicker the kicker. Already hit a 58-yarder from this left hash. This time a whole lot easier. Tack on the 3. It's now 15-10. LA Chargers in front here at MetLife. Drop frames. Hopefully we're not dropping any more here. As we look for a decent return, Roseman, the corner, showing what he can do on special teams. Just checking things over on the right-hand side here. Looks like some weird internet stuff happening. We'll just try to muscle on through it. The internet figures itself out here. We got to snap this ball, though. 5 seconds on that play clock lined up. We're looking to go out quick to Fedoni. Good loft there on that pass. We've seen quite a bit of some up and down play here from Luke Ray. I guess similar to what the internet's doing right now. The 2nd and 3. Play action and under pressure. That ball's thrown out to the flat where there is nobody. This was real life football. Referees would probably have met in the middle of the field and then threw a flag about 5 minutes later. The 3rd and 3 here. Going to the run game and clocked by James in the gap. 4th and 3. We're looking to get back to the line here quickly. Coach Bearington staying aggressive with the second team. See if they can pull it off here. Passes to the flat and first down. That is Hoffman still maintaining the first down with that second effort. We'll continue on here for the 44-yard line. Back to the same play by the looks of it. Hoffman with that speed does get out of bounds. A bit of a late hit at the 42. No flags on it. Offense will go back to the huddle before taking it at the 42-yard line. Wells and Young now in left side. Play action. Throws, lofted pass, and off the diving hands of Young. I don't think he's caught a pass so far. And he's had several attempts. So not looking great for Young and not looking good for the backside blocking. Bernard with another play made in the backfield. Leaves 3rd and 12 here. And Luke Ray does not have the speed like what we have in Dart to try to run for anything crazy here. In fact, he will just loft this one away at the 43. An injury timeout is called. Another injury here, this time to Horton. And doesn't look like we are quite inside field goal range. Coach, though, will keep the offense out here, so Schrader cannot hit from 40 plus. Tries the hard count, no one offers. Now snapping that ball. Passes over the middle, caught by Young, juking out 2 players. He gets, I believe, his first catch, and it's a massive 4th down conversion. That's what we need to see from him. Offense right back to it. Setting up a screen. ETN, but was that Onwuzurike? What a play. Still have yet to be able to get ETN speed to the outside on those screens. If we could find that, probably make something happen here. 2nd and 12. We're going to find something here. That's going to be Hoffman with a drop pass. Not looking good there. Now this is a young, inexperienced group, but we still need people to make some catches. Now the offense does look to shake up some things here, coming out with a heavy set. Faking a sweep. And passes downfield and off the mark, though flag comes in. That one not catchable. Referees are going to call DPI. A free first down for us. Coach Bearington will take that. Trying to see what his young guys can do here in the red zone. It's a free opportunity. A lot of 2 receiver sets here at the 18. Stepping back, hoping something will open up. He throws another incompletion to Young. Right now, that race for the number 3 receiver very much not finding much success. Throws another lofted pass, and this time it's the tight end Conway. Not Conway Twitty either. Or what is it in Archer? Spank? I don't think it's Spank. I don't know. But a fun recurring character as ETN is blocked up a 4th and inches. These second running backs not getting those extra yards, at least any sort of consistency. Again, the offense is out there. Now a fullback run here would be great. Bedoni will take the handoff. It was read well by the linebackers, but converted by the offense. They're going to get back to it quickly here. Hot route coming in from Ray. Play action. Rolling, he gets outside. It's a jump ball that Young comes down with. I want to say 6'6", maybe 6'5". Either way, it's a tall receiver out there. And the rookie does what he was drafted for. Utilizing that speed, blocking out the corner, and making the play. That could get him some snaps by the end zone. That is for sure. And I guess beating an offensive lineman in Duck, Duck, Goose. And then this is where it gets stuck and it has to show you all the different angles. Just give us the hold down A to skip button. Simple. Looks like Coach wants us to go for 2 here. Doesn't like the 1-point lead. A 2-point try at the 2. Change coming in here from Ray. Sees something he might like. Actually covered pretty well, but left alone is Conway, who ran the wrong route by the looks of it. He had all the space over the middle, but he ran to the back of the end zone instead of just sitting over the middle where there was absolutely nobody. The 1-point lead will have to be good enough here for us. Chargers will get ball. About 1:40 to go. In the third, that is. Still waiting to see someone on defense make some splash plays here. Andrews McLeod, the linebackers, rotating all the different DTs. McLeod not able to make the tackle there. Shifty run. Now, we have seen quite a few of these running backs in the league retire early, around 4 to 5 seasons in the league in total. Good tackle there, Andrews, chopping down Sanders. Now we just have to do that one more time here with a 3rd and 1. Coach is going to bring out the heavy set. They need to get just by the 35-yard line. All the DTs in the game here. Oh, they are going to look for the pass. McLeod forces a scramble, but getting the first down. Johnson not able to get the tackle in time. Coach went aggressive. Almost paid off. Chargers first down here. Might be the final play of the 3rd at the 36-yard line. Will be play action. Clock. Wow. Pocket closes. And a great play made by Rainey. Will be a loss of 1, as I assume they'll let this one roll on to the 4th. Indeed they will. In a 1-point ball game here. 16-15, week 1 of the preseason. Now's the time where guys have to make plays, and we're seeing some plays made. It's just with a lack of consistency. Let's see as the 4th quarter arrives. Who's going to continue to make plays here? Defense nearly got the stop on 3rd. Well, now it's going to be 2nd and 11. The 35-yard line. Going back to the air here and to the flat. Good speed there from 88, converting it down and picking up a good chunk thereafter. Not much speed on the outside that time, it appears, for the Giants' second-team defense. And a good fill from McLeod, meeting Sanders in the gap. He's doing well right now when it comes to run defense. That's what his ratings show, is he can defend the run. He's fast, but there is no coverage ability there. Looking to scramble here. An awkward tackle, but getting the job done is the 1st-round rookie in Andrews. In line right now to be the number 3 linebacker for this Giants team. Passes over the middle and a broken up pass. There we go, Andrews. Back-to-back plays made. At the 41-yard line, this is still well within Dicker the kicker's range. We've seen him from the left hash around this spot. And he hit from the right hash. No, he's going to push that just to the right. No good here for Dicker the kicker. With that, Giants do take over at midfield. Haven't seen Luke Ray really drive down the field much today. A lot of inconsistency with a lot of drops in the mix here for him. Facing a bit of some pass rush. Had a target there in Young. Fortunately, pressure a little too much. Ball's incomplete. So 2nd and 10 here. Chargers are stacking the box with the 2 hands down in the backfield. Luke Ray is going to look to toss this one outside. St. Just. He had Hoffman beat the whole time there. A great job in terms of he being the more physical corner. Hoffman, the speedy receiver, handled him no problem. Now looking downfield for Fedoni, who drops it. Defender gave him the opportunity to convert. Now a 4th and 10 here. You do have to wonder. Coach has gone for it a few times. Preseason, not like these games necessarily matter much. It looks like he will bring the offense onto the field here at the 48-yard line. They have not gained a yard since they got possession. Bunch right. And they'll get 5 free. Now, how does that change the approach here for Coach Bearington? Doesn't look like the offense will be leaving the field for him. Though it does look like they shake up the look. 4th and 5 at the 47 now. Bunch left. Luke Ray under center. No hard count this time. They'll just look to go straight for it. Finding a soft spot, and there goes Conway down to the 21-yard line. 1st down convert. Now we just got to convert the touchdown here. 21 yards away. It's going to be a heavy set here. All tight ends in the game. Well, they do still look to pass the ball out to the right-hand side. That's Fedoni turning up and down to the 6-yard line. Goes Luke Ray and this offense. Right back to it. They go hurry up. Everyone stays at the same spot. Luke Ray snaps the ball. Quarterback power. He almost had a lane there. St. Juice saves it. Now you got to consider shaking things up a little bit here. They will indeed bring out some receivers. Change at the running back spot as well. They'll shuffle motion towards the right-hand side. Open target. That's Ben Vallejo with the touchdown. He had a tremendous kick return for a touchdown in the Super Bowl. Fighting for a spot to be the starting slot receiver this year. And if everyone else continues to drop passes, Ben Vallejo not. He will continue to get these opportunities. And then we wait. At least better in the normal episodes, not doing the streams here. You can cut a lot of that out. Schrader here for the point after. Make that 7 points. Now 23-15, an 8-point lead here for the Giants. Chargers have Goodwin set back to return. Take it right up the hash here. Gets by one, but not by the following group of Giants. What do you call a pack of Giants? That's something that we might need to look up here. Have not included that in the episode. Let's do a quick search. Mid-defensive play. The bunch to the left-hand side here. Chargers down by a touchdown and a 2-point try, and Andrews is back again. Interested to see how he does in these following games if he continues making up all those plays in the backfield. It looks like a group of Giants would be called a percussion or an eminence. So we might have to fold that in here to some of the play calls. Pass over the middle, and Andrews tripping up the receiver. Timeout called on the field as there is an injured offensive lineman. As he makes his way over towards the bench. A 3rd and 8 awaits the Chargers at the 30-yard line. Will look to go to the air. Or instead, scrambling out, but a good job by Davis keeping contained. That's what you got to have on 3rd down. That could force the punt here. We'll see if the Chargers get aggressive. It doesn't look like they're going to. Punting unit is out. Coach Bearington's offense will be able to take the field here and try to drain some clock, come out of this game 1-0 in the preseason. Hoffman with limited space to go on that return. Will be the 34-yard line. Now, it doesn't look like there will be any changes to who's heading on out there, sticking with the same team just about throughout this game. Though we have not seen much from the running game today. ETN, while he has gotten carries, has looked very impressive outside of some more power-needed plays. He's got space here. And a first down gain. Legs chugging. He picks up an extra 4 at the end. You got to know, coming from Georgia as well, that they ran some power looks there. So I assume, even though he is an elusive style back, he'll still be able to handle those runs no problem. Adoni motions to make it a power. ETN looks to hit the outside with his speed. First down. He slips the tackle there to pick up an extra 2. A $112 in his first game here in a Giants uniform. Now we're going to see Edwards checks in. He's only had a couple carries today, or a couple plays today, and that ball's free. Luke Ray gives it up. Chargers will be taken over about the 45-yard line as long as that turnover stands. Looked like Ray potentially could have been down. I want to see if we could get a replay from the booth here. So Ray scrambling backwards. No, that ball is out, ripped out by Nwosu. So the addition here for the Chargers defense makes the big play and keeps them alive here. We maybe take about a minute off that clock. 45-yard line plus side here for the Chargers. Play action is thrown out to the flat. And finding the first down, McLeod at least does stick with the tight end through some blocks. In his athleticism can really be a big gain there in that second level. 1st and 10. Back to some more play action. And under pressure, a sack comes in. Number 98, that is Walker. And a great number, if I do say so myself. Now, I want to say he's also a rookie. Guy we took in the later rounds of the draft just last stream. Makes it a 2nd and 17 with a weak eye. They will toss it to the running back here. Wilcox with the beat on Sanders. Back him up even more. An extra 3 yards back as they are where they started. 43-yard line here.
Here we go. Here we go.
Now can they convert the third? About half a mile. Well, they've got a wide open target. Beating the cover 2 is Sanders out of the backfield. That's not necessarily on any one particular player. That is just a pure coverage beater. Great call from the Chargers OC here. And his preseason snaps in as well. And a good cutback will get by McLeod. Abdul Carter playing a little bit of soft ball. Now they do only have about 15 yards to go here. Still needing a 2-point try, though, to tie this game. And scrambling out, taking one hit, shucking that off like it's no problem. Carter with another tackle. And a 3rd and 4 here. They get back to the line quickly. 2 spread either side, though, keeping it tight. Facing the blitz, rolling out. McLeod closes, but takes a bad angle as the Chargers are a 2-point try away from leveling this game late in the 4th. And that guy is doing that jig so quick. I need to check him for some sniffing salts or whatever it may be. But 1:11 to go here. 2-point try for the Chargers. Backside, and we are level. Off the turnover from Luke Ray, his 2nd of the game. And we now have a tie game here. Now, preseason, I don't believe, goes into overtime. We'll see if we can find a score to ensure that either way, we don't need it. Borland back to return. Sorry if you heard that. That was me dropping my phone on the table. Borland with some space, but he cannot get by the kicker. We'll start at the 40, though. Great field position. New kicker as well for us this year. But can we even get into range? We're going to be about 20-ish yards away. 3 timeouts, and we're already snapping that ball. Passes out quick. That's Young, who will turn up the sideline, getting out a gain of 12. Luke Ray, 3 passing touchdowns today. That completion percentage is not looking great. Not entirely his fault. A lot of drops, including Young, who just had that grab. Nice soft spot in coverage, finding Conway a little bit short. Now no timeout called there. 3 apiece. Inside a minute to play. Chargers stacking the left side of the line. Getting some pressure initially here. That's Etienne utilizing the blocks, and he will get out about the 20. Timeout called their coach, not Bearington. So everyone catches their breath, checking their messages. We're at the 20 here. I formation. Israel checks in at running back. 42 seconds to work with here. He's got a lane left-hand side, spinning by one and backpedaling to pick up a little bit extra. Chargers with their second called timeout. Best drive so far of this game. I don't imagine we're going to see much change in terms of the play calling either. Edwards now in at running back, so getting all the different running backs involved here. Edwards, right side, centers this thing up as the final timeout is called by the Chargers. 34 seconds remain. Around the 3 to 4 yard line. Actually make that around the 6 yard line. Because if you add those two numbers, you'd be a little bit closer. Now we'll just be I formation here. Etienne keeps this lined up, takes some hits, and an injury timeout now comes in. Is it on Etienne? Is he a bit shaken up? Because right now he's just jawing. Does look like it is Etienne. It looks like we need to do something instead here to keep our players healthy. With 30 seconds on the clock, it's victory formation with this game tied up. 2 timeouts remain for the Giants. As they do take that knee, they'll let this clock roll on down and send out Schrader with a chip shot, an old-fashioned PAT basically. And it looks like the injury's not bad, which is good. That clock will roll down here, coming on out. Team can sit for about 7 odd seconds. Because we don't want to leave any time here for the Chargers. Chip shot field goal is good. Giants on the final play of the game do take preseason game 1, 26-23. And with how the game started, I wasn't sure the defense would keep this team under 24 points, though that was started against the ones here of the Chargers. So it's a little bit different. Against the second team, we saw some better plays. I will say Andrews got into his groove. Made a lot of good plays out there at linebacker. McLeod's speed also made some good plays. He missed some plays. Young, also, the receiver we see there catching that ball, made some plays. He dropped a whole lot as well. So there's some good, there's some bad. We're going to jump into a quick checking of the stats here to see really how this game flowed. And we just care about our stats right now. So Luke, he had 21 completions to 31 attempts. That is 56% complete. 3 touchdowns. He threw essentially kind of was an arm punt. Now, it does actually keep track of some of the drops, it looks like, because Young definitely had more than 2. But there's at least 4 more completions that were left on the table for Ray. So that would have helped him out a little bit. We could say 25 of 37. Maybe gets him a little bit closer to that 60 mark. He definitely missed a few passes, but as the primary backup, I think that's a fine showing. Trevor Etienne, a great showing for him. A little bit of a pectoral strain there. We might see a little bit more of Israel and Edwards then in the following game. I think the only other thing I really need to see more of is Ben Vallejo at receiver. So we might focus on the offense here in the second game. Tackles for a loss, we did have quite a few. Walker, Andrews lead us with those 2. We had 5 total sacks. Rainey, Davis, Alakai, Alexander, and Walker, and Corey Black with that pick earlier. Though the photo up there is not Corey Black. I don't know who it is. Spencer Schrader, 2 for 2. Across the board, not too bad. Still need to see a little bit more from the pass coverage. A little bit more consistency in the pass rush, because while we did pick up 5 sacks, it wasn't consistent. But overall, there's a good bit of decency there. How much that would translate into the regular season and those guys rotating in as maybe part-time starters. Ben Vallejo, an opportunity for him to potentially be that part-time starter. He'll get a boost here. We're going to go with the slot for him. Want to see some of that short, medium route running, catch in traffic. And we do get the catch in traffic with the short and the medium. Overall, really solid base upgrade for him. The hands are at a good spot. Short, medium route running, solid spot. I think as a slot receiver who's going to get 20 to 25 catches this year should be solid. But we're going to test him out a little bit on the outside in this next game. And these trade options should also still stay here as we do move on. We're going to go to the Patriots. And I feel like this might be, let's take a look actually at their makeup here. I want to make sure we're choosing the right side of the ball to test in these. Getting a couple upgrades there, always fun. Storyline rookie OTAs. Let's check this out. And this time it's actually happening during the preseason. So slightly better than last year when we got this in the in the regular season rather than the off season. And this time it's actually a rookie. So there's some good news. Welcome to your near home, Mike. We have big plans for you. Probably should have had this in that first week. Thanks, Coach. Excited to be here. It's amazing finally being in an NFL facility. Since I got you, what is the short-term plan for him? We're going to focus on that development. He will most likely be that number 3 linebacker. Going to compete. That's what we want to see. And that's that. So we'll see if that leads to anything else in the future. But we got some upgrades here. Jackson Dart didn't even play a snap. He's going to get an upgrade. And I've just been, every time it's improviser for him because that's how he plays. That's how at least we use him as. So we'll get some break sack in there, some accuracy, under pressure and on the run. That's good for him because that is how he plays and might have to do a little bit more on the run this year if the offensive line is as inconsistent as we saw in that first game. And we get some upgrades as well for some of our specialty guys, kicker and punter. And it's an accuracy boost here for Spencer Schrader, 28 years old, 94 kick power, 82 accuracy, if you're curious. Taking over for Graham Gano. But how are these teams faring right now? Well, Patriots, they look to have a really good passing team, both as a defense and as an offense. A running game a little bit lackluster. So in that instance, then, we could really test out the passing game then against New England. So we'll jump into this one, and we will focus primarily on the offense. We'll do some defense in the third game. At least jump around a little bit. Just get a little bit more of a look at them. As for the weekly loadout, something I learned a little bit more in that last season, because I wasn't paying much attention to this. You could actually get a breakdown of what your team looks like in comparison to who you're playing against, breaking it down correctly to pass offense and pass defense. So technically, New England's pass defense is better than our offense by 4 overall. We are technically a little bit better in the run offense versus their run defense by about 3. And overall, the pass defense is better than their pass offense, which is good news because that was one of the spots we were trying to improve. But that does slightly change depending on what things you end up putting in here. So we're going to get some better run game with the platinum. And keep the accuracy in there. We don't need all these other ones. I think that looks good there. Defense, we have a new defensive coordinator this year. So these are a little bit new, learning a little bit more about him. And also mentioned this in the last live stream we did. I'm not upgrading any of these with the staff points. It all is going to be upgraded by how the team plays, which is why we have 817 staff points. Where we're going to get a little bit better here with the run defense. Want something for the pass coverage as well. We got anything for cover 3? We do run quite a bit of cover 3. Zone coverage on corners when running cover 3 plays. Sounds good to me. As for the playbooks, red zone passing, Heavy set for the offense. Run that about every time. Defensive-wise, always do the 4-2-5, as that's pretty much what all defenses are nowadays. Batch of blitzes, because we do like to be aggressive. And then try to keep our players clean here. Always go with the boost here to the reduced injuries during practice, and then the recovery during games. So that way we stay healthy. That's how Cameron Scadaboo set record after record last year. Looks like we do have someone banged up here. That is the running back, Etienne. Yeah, you are going to be on rest. Good with that. Everyone else good to fully go on both sides. Let's do a sim here. Hopefully no one gets injured. We'll jump into that second game shortly. And no injury on offense. No injury on defense. Couple more upgrades. Just one. Tony Bautista. He's got some ability to tackle. There is no coverage to his game. He's a strict run stopper. So that is the archetype we're going to run for him then. Not going to waste our points on upgrading something he will never be. We'll get those upgrades, and now we will jump in, and it does look like those trade offers are still here. And yeah, Nathan Oliver is still there. So again, remember, let me know in the comments here. I will also post a poll after. Should we make that trade, Dexter Lawrence for Nathan Oliver? I'm going to tweak some of the other things. It looks like they're also tweaking some of the additional things coming in outside of Nathan Oliver. Dexter Lawrence will not be here next year. Do we add the potential superstar corner? Something we'll find out next time on Tuesday. But we are not done here. We are going to come play some offensive snaps and just get a better look here at some other targets. Really, I want to see what Ben Vallejo can do, if he's going to have a drop problem or not. So we're going to play him on the outside because primarily we have two receiver sets. Very limited slot work, so we just want to get him some reps out there and see what he can do. And we're not going to watch Gronk. We are going to skip to the moment here. We are not watching much of the defense now. I skipped the moment instead of playing the moment. That is 100% on me. Starting offense, they got the opening drive. That is what we're going to rock with in terms of the storyline here. Now, quarterback, I do want Daniel Jones out there. Want to see what he could do. Etienne's going to get a little bit of the rest this week. So he'll be the third option. And then receiver-wise, let's get Young on the outside as well. Vallejo, then Hoffman, Wells, Borland, and Redding, who did not see the field much. Might get them involved a little bit more later in this game, but really I want to focus in on Vallejo. Also want to see a bit more of Peak in this one. So we didn't see much of him in the last one. And then the defense, we're going to sub out these guys as well, because I want to see what the stats end up looking like with the true backups in, and making sure the starters don't get injured, as we will be continuing with this file, unlike last year where we did just sim through after doing the live stream, as we were testing some things out. Get Banks, Black, Roseman, the backup safeties in there as well. Almost done here. Edwards, Israel, Etienne, Edwards again. So going to get a little bit more Edwards, it looks like, in this one. And then Vallejo will not be playing in the slot. That will instead be Hoffman. Then Borland, Redding. Get Davis there. Give me an actual edge rusher would be great. Walker Johnson. Keep that as it is. That as it is. Sub linebacker. Do Carter, Andrews, and McLeod. And then in the slot, we want Roseman with Franklin next. And then Rainey could stay there. All right. Now we could actually jump in. See what these young guys can do here. And want to see a little bit more of number 11 out there. We also got to check out this running back. There's a good block downfield. Israel with space, shakes a couple, polishing off a great opening run of 27. We definitely still need to make sure these running backs can run. Daniel Jones, we saw him pass the ball once in that first game. He threw a pick. He's going to roll here. Looking for an option. Downfield and tipped away from Ben Vallejo. Obviously going up against one of the top corners, though. Played it well. 2nd and 10. It's back to the running game. Israel down the middle. He's got about 8. Now let's see what we can get done on a short down and distance. 3rd and 2. Vallejo's going to be right side. He's going on that corner route. Young will be underneath. Though flipping this one, that's going to be to the running back in Edwards. And that will also be our first quarter. Should not change much here, as this is the second game. The starters should be playing the first half, so we shouldn't have to go right back on in and update the depth chart. Would probably have to do that in the second half, though. Vallejo, right-hand side. That'll be the primary side he's going to line up unless we send 2 receivers to the left. 29-yard line here. Vallejo takes a big hit. He's not going to hold on to that one. I don't even think Neighbors would. So we have to give a little bit of credit, though, for Jones to fit that into that window. Bunch left-hand side, a little bit of a shuffle motion right-hand side. Passing over the middle is to Israel, but he's going to lose about all the yards he gained on that forward progress. We're right back to it here. Offense in hurry-up mode. Peak is going to go in motion left-hand side. Back over to the right-hand side. Back into that bunch. And downfield for Hoffman. Touchdown. What a throw, Daniel Jones. And plenty of separation for the speedster. Now, that would be a route that would be for Vallejo in the regular season if he starts in the slot. But he does not have that kind of speed. Gonzalez probably would have caught back up to it, breaking that one up. We'll take the touchdown to Hoffman. And it definitely could be a situation where we kind of rotate what we do at that receiver spot in terms of that number 2, just purely based off of where the game is, what we need at that time. If we need the speed, Hoffman shows it off there. Jumping forward to our next possession, we start inside the 10 with some play action. Throws over the middle and broken up, intended for Pete. And we are going to primarily just focus on passing the ball here in this game. Really trying to stress test the receiver group. Bunch right-hand side, needs someone to break open. Plucking out Peak, so that was not Peak previously. 80, that's Conway. Trying to learn some of these new tight ends here. A Peak with a nice grab and a first down, giving us a bit of some breathing. Just shorted out there, apparently. Breathing space. 1st and 10. Just about the 30-yard line. Ben Vallejo with some space downfield. Plucks that one out. Gets a spin, but then pays for it. Peppers lays the shoulder in, but flipping the field to the opposite 40.
It's a gain of 32. First down.
That's what we want to see from Ben Vallejo. That's what he did at Stanford, too. He was a little bit more of that mid guy. Not in terms of his talent, but in terms of where he was downfield. Under pressure, Jones off the right hip of Umbo. I'll leave a 2nd and 10. 7-3 ball game here, second quarter. Jones with a split backfield, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. As he will try again to thread a needle. Didn't look like a bad opportunity there, just Hoffman didn't get into that open space like he thought he would. The 3rd and 10. Set up the screen to Israel outside, spinning in and utilizing some of those blocks, but Williams tracks him down from behind, leaving a 4th and 1. Now you could just take that field goal. That's really not what we do here, especially in preseason. How about stress testing a receiving group? This is how you do it. 4th and 1, empty set. Passes out quickly, converting, no. They say Peppers gets the tackle behind the line to gain. I don't know about that. Before we jump forward here, actually, can we challenge that play? I feel like he had the spotting to get the first down. We'll take a second look. Show us something. Well, that angle's not going to help anybody out. Nor is this one. I mean, Israel very close. But with those angles, you can't tell. Though it is overturned. Enough evidence. First down, Giants. I don't know how they could tell with the angle they were at there, but I'll take it. 1st and 10 on the 29 as the boos rain down. Pressure builds as the throw comes up well short of Fedoni with an injured defensive lineman in Williams. That's why we don't have our starters out there. Now, some of these injuries could open up team needs, and we have at least one player that we're looking to deal. So we'll see what ends up happening here. Picking out Ben Vallejo, who holds on through that contact. That is what we need to see, especially with a man who might just be our starter in the slot. Handing this one off. That's Edwards finding the gap eventually. He picks up 6. Keeping this drive alive here. Down at the 10-yard line. The 2nd and 4. It's a weak eye. Going out to the left-hand side. 2 tight ends plus the fullback in motion. This is going to be play action. Throwing it. Little bit behind, but Young again. He's making the plays in the end zone. Throughout the whole remaining, 100 yards of the field, a little bit hit or miss on if he catches it. But in the end zone, he's not missing out on these points. A 2nd touchdown here in the preseason for the rookie, and now he's doing a drill sergeant thing with the offense. Okay, and Tafoya's got some moves. I like it. Now he is in line to be the 2nd receiver, or 1st receiver to come in on the outside. That is after Neighbors and Johnson, who absolutely destroyed it last year. Giants taking their 2nd Super Bowl in a row. Team, though, looking a little bit different this year. Overall wise, getting worse. We'll see how much that affects them. And we're supposed to be just playing offense here. So how about a special teams play there for you, as we look to jump back to strictly offense here in this game. The Patriots march down the field. They find the end zone. First time today, they make it 14-10. We got just about a 2-minute drill here. Starting at the 30. Will be play action. Pass over the middle and picked off. Great play from the linebacker. A little bit more speed, perhaps. Ben Vallejo gets into that window. But Owen Marshall, either a rookie or a 2nd-year player, makes a terrific play. The Patriots do not tie it up. They just get a field goal. So the defense doing well out there. And that is the 2nd defense against the starters of the Patriots. So the 30-yard line will still have an opportunity. Try to get something done here. Passing downfield, inside leverage, but broken up. We did talk about the rest of that, 100 yards of the field. Young a little bit inaccurate on his catching ability. Coming into play there, Ben Vallejo drops it. Should have held on to that one. That could cost you in a real game. 3rd and 10 here. And keep the offense alive. Is a quick throw that's intercepted. I don't know if Daniel Jones meant to throw that ball at all, but it happened. And Daniel Jones, in limited time here with us, has already thrown 3 interceptions. That one, though, has a massive asterisk on it. Break the 4th wall, just trying to snap that ball. Now we got a minute to work with. And a little bit of an opening downfield, finding Peak, who breaks one. He's looking impressive out there. As another injury comes in here for Williams, trying to battle through. I think it would be best to get him off the field here this preseason. But Peak was that number 2, number 3 tight end for us last year. We drafted a guy. We also signed a free agent. He's feeling the pressure, and he's making some plays. As Daniel Jones unable to make a play. Swinson with a quick sack on him. Right side of this line cave. That is Mbo on the outside. Tafoya playing a little bit of right guard instead of left guard. The offense is right back to it. Looking downfield and tried to find Vallejo. That pass probably a little bit more forced than a true read at the 50-yard line. Motion to running back one way. Setting up a screen the other way. With some blockers downfield, Edwards will pick up about half what's needed. And that clock will roll here. So the offense looks to stay on the field for the Giants. Letting that clock roll just takes away some time for the Patriots to try to answer, as they've already done this half with all the turnovers. Daniel Jones, he will just scramble forward here, taking the shoulder. Fresh set it down, 16 to work with. Now, how are we doing out there? Everything looking good? If you're enjoying, if you haven't already, make sure you leave a like on the stream. You got 16 seconds. Daniel Jones trying to get us to the end zone. Passing out to the flat here. That is to Israel, who will pick up what he can. It's just 2. Not sure that play ends up really being worth it in the long run. Leaving you 11 seconds here inside field goal range. You got Young and Hoffman to the left, Vallejo to the right. Patriots sitting back in coverage. Passes over the middle, finding Young. 5 seconds to go. Final timeout is called. Now you could be risky here. Try to find yourself into that end zone. It looks like that is what Coach is going to try to do here. 5 seconds to work with. Look for a quick hitter. Otherwise, you got to bring out that field goal team here. 16-yard line. And that one's lofted just out of the reach of Young, who had the inside beat. So the 16, it is Schrader. Try to get something back that we gave up here. That'll be 3 points and will send us through halftime. So not necessarily seeing anything tremendous when it comes to the play of at least Daniel Jones, missing a couple opportunities there. Do jump into the second half. Just want to make sure we have some certain guys out on that field. Do not want to see Etienne on that field, letting him recover. He got a bit banged up last time. Vallejo, I still want to see on the outside. Hoffman in the slot. We'll get Wells out there. Haven't seen much from him. Call that good. Conway, no, I want Peak. Conway can be second. And that'll be good enough. Backup offensive line, though, does enter the game. As well as Luke Ray. At the 20-yard line, we start our first drive of the second half. 22-17 Patriots. And Luke Ray takes a bit of a massive late hit there as well. 2 late hits, neither one called. The one on Luke Ray, though, probably not all too late. You never know in the NFL. Sometimes they call anything against a quarterback, and sometimes they call nothing. Downfield, Ben Vallejo secures the grab. Caldwell sitting over the top, but that is another big conversion for the hopeful wide receiver 3. The offense will actually do a little bit of some hurry up here despite taking all that time, celebrating the first down. Ray will change up the play here, getting that ball snapped. Again, under pressure, he rolls right-hand side. He's got his running back, and they're not on the same page, but good news, the safety does not want the interception. That's definitely a play you would hope that your running back is looking back for the ball, knowing he's open, would see where it was thrown and make an adjustment on it. 2nd and 10 here. There goes Edwards with no block from the guard. Might even be backup tackle. Gets that block. Edwards, he's still running, maybe into the end zone. Instead, we're focused in on a 3rd and 1 here. I formation, Israel in the game. Follows those blocks. Now he's through the middle. Looking to spin outside. Does not get away. But it looks like the run game still very strong. A little bit of a shaken up offensive line. They've got Conway playing tackle. We might need to make an adjustment to that. Throwing this time, it's outside to Peak. Turning up first down. But yeah, we're definitely going to need to make sure we have an actual offensive lineman in the game. We got Enriquez over on the left-hand side. Right-hand side is also Enriquez. No, it is not. It is Mbo. We got to test him out anyway to see if he should be the starter for us this year or not. So let's get him back out on that field. Off of Conway actually playing tackle, not glorified tackle. 1st and 10. Pass lofted for Conway, and he's got the touchdown. Well, he blocked for us a few plays. He deserves the touchdown. Picked up as a free agent post-draft. Luke Ray with a well-lofted ball, well away from the inside defender. And look at the toe tap there. Beautiful work. Touchdown, Giants. We are in front here. Eventually, we'll move on. There we go. Defense does hold. Looks like there was maybe an extra set of plays there towards the end as well, but perhaps turnover forced. We get the ball at the 11. Let's start a little bit of some play action. Getting that one out quick under pressure. It's back to Peak. Tight ends putting in some work here. And that's good news because it took us a while last season to get the tight ends really involved. Now Etienne checks in here. He's supposed to be resting. He's going to get the carry. Finding some space down the middle. He's got a good chunk to the 26. And now hopefully he'll go back to the bench. Good. Now looks like there is a edge rusher. I don't know, 98 looks pretty big to play some linebackers, at least at this point in the league. The throw outside, Fedoni, first down. Tight end / fullback. He's been a big part of the success of this offense. Which is why they drafted some more tight ends, so he can continue playing that fullback spot. 1st and 10. More play action. And chucking this ball, and clearly Ray does not have a good enough arm into triple coverage. It's an arm punt on 1st down. Thomas going to come away with that one, but that's how you stress test. We know Luke Ray, not one to be able to throw that ball downfield. And with 2 minutes to go in this game, Patriots take a 3-point lead. Now you got to play a little bit smarter here. Luke Ray will pick up about a yard there, at best. Now he has been a little bit banged up, taking a lot of hits. We've got 3 timeouts to work with here. Going to the halfback screen with some blockers downfield. That's Israel with space. 1st down and out of bounds at the 46. Doing a little bit more of how the offense would be ran in game in this one. It's panning out pretty well. 1:40 to work with here. Still having those timeouts. Lofting this one left side. Wells will catch up to it, and he holds on through contact. Luke Ray, he is a quarterback that could put loft on a pass. He's got the touch. He's not a quarterback that's going to drive one in. As they hurry up here inside, 1.5 to work with. Vallejo all the way outside, split backfield. That ball is thrown towards the back of the end zone. Yes, intercepted. It took him a moment to confirm. They say Gonzalez gets both feet down. Why is he still in the game? Why you try to throw that high? But what a play. Ooh, those toes might have come down out of bounds, though. We're going to have to take a second look at this one. We won a challenge earlier. Can't challenge here. And the league's not going to do it either. I don't know. You let me know in the comments. Was that an interception? Was that an incomplete pass? Defense, though, needs to make the stop here. Looked like Dexter Lawrence was in the game. He's not supposed to be, but looks like they're forcing him out there. And, hey, he's going to make a play for us, give us another chance to see what this offense can do. We'll take it. So he exits the field after I say that. So Walker, Alexander, Alakai, and Johnson. The two hands down. This is our formation. McLeod on the blitz. Patriots went to set up a pass here. Because it's preseason, why not? Now you're set up with a 3rd and 16. Got to get some pass rush here. Got to get off the field. Going to be a shotgun look here for Tanner McKee, who will just step up and run sliding down, avoiding that hit. Giants do call their final timeout. They'll have about 60 seconds to work with here to try to tie this game, at least before it's all said and done. Johnston will look to punt this one away. Hoffman, he has speed, set back to return. Getting under it at the 45-yard line, though no other blockers will pick up at least a little bit. There will be 59 seconds to work with here for Luke Ray. Tossing the interception in the back of the end zone last time after a promising start. Or at least just have to get a little bit past halfway of this field, though field goal would be about 45 yards away. And he's going to scramble forward here, getting what he can. Looks like just inside the 40. It was a quick glimpse. He did catch it. Good for you. But about the 41, or at 39, make that actually, is where they need to be. Rolling outside here and throwing towards the sideline. Wells again. He's trying to show that he should see some more playing time out there. Bottom half of this wide receiver group is really going all out here. And again, this one's down the field. Wells had it in his hands, but he could not squeeze it. And that was Kevin Salmon, former cornerback of Coach Bearington at Stanford, breaks that one up. That's going to rotate some receivers here. Redding and Borland in the game with Hoffman. A little bit more of a speed look here. With a pass off the mark. Would have been risky, especially being tackled in bounds here. No timeouts. You are inside field goal range, so you don't have to risk anything here. We could tie this game. And in preseason, there is no overtime. It just is what it is, and it looks like that is what Coach is going for here. Bringing out the field goal unit. Though, timeout is called by the Patriots, trying to ice Schrader here in the preseason. Though for Coach now, looks like he's calling on his offense. Offense taking the field here, following that timeout. Will it pay off? Well, you're going to get 5 free yards with a hard count. Neutral zone infraction. That one is called on Salvador. Couldn't tell you that second name, that surname there. The 4th and 1, 24 seconds left here in this game. Offense stays on the field. No hard count this time. Passes out quick. That's Hoffman with the first down and out of bounds. Perhaps Coach playing a little bit of some mind games then, having them call a timeout for him so they had time to come up with a play. Even got some free yardage on him. Ben Vallejo inside release, a little bit too far, but a flag comes in at the end. They're going to say there was a late grab there by the corner, DPI on Thomas. That gives us a 1-yard line. A little bit bailed out there, but hey, we're going to take it. Ray trying to call for a flip here. Offense does finally hear him. Going to send the bunch to the left-hand side, running back to the right-hand side. Ben Vallejo, quick pass. If that's inside, it's a touchdown. Pass came in instead on the outside. 15 seconds, trying to take a lead here. Sticking with the empty. Pete, quick throw. Tight end work is good enough for the lead. Giants, after all those turnovers, still take the lead with 12 seconds to play here. And you take the PAT. Now Schrader's being iced. All right, will be a chip shot for him. Make this 31-27. Just about 12 seconds to work with here. We'll look to get out of this one without any sort of drama here late. Outside of the drama we've already had. Gillian with the boot. Back inside the return zone. And this one will be taken to about the 23. 9 seconds left. And the defense coming out in prevent. So with a bunch out to the right-hand side, one to the left. Everyone sitting back. And under pressure still, and a sack. I believe that is Davis. Forcing a timeout to be called. And indeed that was Davis. A three-man rush does the job for the Giants. Just frankly outpowered the man. And then more pressure. Passes out. And nearly caught but broken up Deonte Banks. And there is 2 wins here for the Giants. What a comeback. What a comeback. It came with help. Do have to state that. It came with help. We'll take a quick look here at some player stats. And then I'm going to do a little quick bathroom break. We'll run an ad. Get back into that last game. Daniel Jones. Iffy out there. Luke Ray came in. I mean, 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions for both. I think the backup jobs are fine. The backup running back job, I think, is also fine. Ben Vallejo, I think, is going to be that third guy. He's just not dropping the ball. But I think Wells and Young show that they could play on the outside. So we're going to have, looks to be Vallejo and Hoffman rotate a little bit at that slot spot, depending on the need. Perhaps Hoffman could even be a gadget player for us. So some solid options there. But before we continue on here, I'm going to run a quick ad. And then I'm going to run to the bathroom. We'll come back. We'll play that last game on the defense. Boogity. On in here. Let's get on out of this game and get ready for the next one. Assuming everyone is back from ad break. Brandon, not exactly sure. Wish that was one thing it showed in the preview for me. Is where the ad is looking like. So know when everyone's back. But 2 weeks into preseason, looking good, though Dr. Dots does decrease. We do get some upgrades, though, for the play sheets. That's what I talked about. We're running a natural playthrough here. We do unlock a Master of Disguise play sheet here for our defense. And if we play that and we do well, we could upgrade that. But now we look to head into a defensive game against the Cleveland Browns, who are passing very well. Right now, the number 2 team. Meanwhile, our offense, number 5 in points per game. Excuse me, I was looking at that. 9 in passing yards and 2nd in rushing. And frankly, we haven't even tried to really rush the ball much. So, good notes there. We'll do another quick setup here. Get into that final game here today. We will keep with the run thing. Just keep the offense as it is. I have to take one off from the defense. Thank you. So what are they looking? They're more of a pass coverage kind of team here. Though, they also do a good job of, actually, I was looking at the wrong one. Our pass defense is actually much better than their pass offense. Level, though, against the run defense. So let's give ourselves a little bit of a boost to the run defense then. Let's see what new ones do we have here? Something that we haven't done before. Play recognition could be a nice boost. Increased reaction on in-breaking routes in man coverage. I don't think that many teams run option plays, unless you're playing the Ravens, which would be a good option to have. Pun intended. We got here. Anything else for the secondary? Not really. So not a lot of great help for the secondary. We're going to go with some play recognition, though. For the play sheet, a couple quick changes there. And I think we try the Master of Disguise play sheet. Then try to keep our guys as healthy as possible. Confirm that loadout. Everyone's healthy. Good news. Get that last little bit of simulation in. Then we'll jump into a defensive game here. We saw some pretty solid things. And Ben Vallejo is out this game. He had a broken finger, so it's actually a good thing then that we got that game in with the offense. But it's also a little concerning then. Ben Vallejo with an injury. Have some rotation for sure. Sure, I guess we're going to go with pass protection. Wanted to go agile. Sometimes Madden doesn't recognize when you click certain things. Is what it is. Darius Alexander will stick with the nose tackle upgrade there. Nothing crazy. Some awareness goes up by 2. Andrews' first upgrade here. Block shedding does need some work. Will primarily come in as a run defense guy. So we're going to continue working with that. And he'll get a nice +1 there to block shed and man coverage. Play rec +2 to tackle. Not bad. Evan Conway, he's also played pretty well out there. And we might keep him as well, but with what we saw from, speaking of Bradley Peak, I don't know. He looks like he might be a little bit more dynamic out there, though the good toe taps as well from Conway. Good upgrade here, though, from Peak. We do play some heavy sets, so it might be good to have all of them anyway. Free safety, that is zone. And we will head on in then to the final game here today. Going to check out the defense and see what they can do. Which means the offense will most likely be playing with some of these starters. We'll still look to make that switch. We've all seen these intros time and time again. Let's focus in then on what we are doing. That is playing the moments here. The first defensive go will happen shortly. Why is there not a quick button to put in the second team? That is my question. Let's give Edwards the start here. Keep ETN healthy as well, because we already know he's going to be that second guy. As for the receivers, I want to get these younger guys in who haven't seen much playing time yet. Get Redding out there. Wells can be third. Hoffman fourth. Max Young can be there. And then if one of the starters has to come in, I want it to be Johnson. We're going to give Peak another start there at tight end. Offensive line will be what it is. Now, who do we want to see on defense? Davis has been playing very well, so I want him to be the starter. I'll have Johnson be the secondary guy here. And then what about Walker as the backup here? Just in case there is some rotation, see what some of these guys are doing. Looking good there. Keep the starters at linebacker. Actually, we'll make a change. We'll put McLeod in there. We already know Sanders is going to be the starters. Sure, Black is going to be there. Banks will be there. Rosemond will come in there. Defense, again, switching those secondary guys. Now we could try a couple different things out here. When it came to that gadget, talked about Hoffman potentially being that guy. We'll see what he puts in here. He's a 54 overall. as a gadget. Now, I don't even know really who that would be, but we're going to put him there today. Just to see. Power back, Edwards, ETN again. I'm stashing him because I want these starters to be healthy. Slot receiver in this one. Hoffman can play in the slot. And then, sure, we'll put in Borland. Davis, again, will be on the outside. Walker there. Johnson can be the backup. Carter, Andrews, McLeod. And then Roseman all the way down here. All right. There we go. Now we're good to go. Final game, playing some defense. They're coming out. The two receiver set. Stafford is the new quarterback here for the Browns. Again, Shore Sanders still on the bench. They hand off Judkins, who looks to get outside. Carter in pursuit, will not catch him. Diving miss there from the safety. And an injury first play. That looks like Harris. I was just checking my cheat sheet here. I don't think any of our guys are on the Browns to keep an eye out on. Doesn't look like it. But to the nickel we drop here with a three receiver set coming on out. All right. 1st and 10. And they go back to the run game here, but not going to get far. Good fill. That's what we need from these linebackers. Again, Bobby Okereke gone. He was the leader, the captain of this defense the last couple seasons. Andrews and Carter out there now. Can they step up? Well, Andrews steps up into the gap, fills it well, plus a flag down will be holding. That's one you could look to decline on David Njoku. Force that 3rd and 6 here at about midfield. Defense changing things up. Tittman as well, a former player of ours, now the center here of the Browns. He did not want to come back to the Giants after winning 2 Super Bowls. Odd move, but it's his choice. Chopped down, but converting. Jenkins, 1st down. Role reversal if that was us. We have not seen him give us that spot much today. We've had a challenge for it. The 1st and 10 at the 38. And looking to get outside, but filling well is raining. We'll say the safeties have made some plays. The backup safeties have made some plays. Would have liked to see them perhaps make a few more plays in coverage, but in run defense, they've made some plays. Loss of 1 at 2nd and 11 for Stafford. He's got an open target, though, holds on to it, goes to the flat instead, and Judkins will have 4. Another 3rd and 6 here. Well, Stafford, a very smart quarterback. Now read this double A gap look and look to pass it out quick. They need just 6 yards at the 34, though dropping back into coverage. Stafford going downfield, and Banks. What are you doing, dude? That's a pick ball. 9 times out of 10. Instead, Jaden Reed, coming over from the Packers, gets the touchdown. How do you not get a hand on that one? Just misread it, I guess. That's a bad miss. Considering we're also considering bringing in a new corner. Not a good look there. Offense does get down the field and tacks on 3 points here, so we're at least on the board. And Njoku, he's got the catch over the middle. We're going to trial this defense here, hoping to see someone make some plays. We've seen little bits here and there. Who's going to be consistent? With the rush, Davis gets the pressure, but again, Njoku wide open. That would have been man coverage with the safeties. We just talked about how we haven't seen much in terms of the coverage from the safeties. Not improving there. The 1st and 10. Quick passes out to the flat, low RPO to gain a few. Timeout called with an injury to Hargrove. The 46-yard line. Down a lineman. They come out empty set. The 2nd and 7. Stafford. He's got time. But eventually, Maurice Alakai picks up another sack. We want to see a whole lot more from him this year. It's going to be a 3-man rotation up front. A 3rd and 14 here. Stafford. He's reading this defense, letting things develop, and eventually looks to throw out, and the defense bit on it. Conley working his way downfield into the red zone. Matthew Stafford still making plays. Now remember, this is year 3. He's already an old man in terms of the NFL. IRL. 3 more years in, and he's still scrambling around a little bit, making some plays. Good read. Nobody again in the flat. Eventually chasing over there is Rainey. So the 13-yard line here might be the final play here of the quarter. Another empty set for Stafford. As it's quarterback draw and gets down cleanly. Not gonna lie, I'm loving what I'm seeing in the play calling for Matthew Stafford. Harris, though, does go down. And that is 2 offensive linemen for the Browns injured on this drive alone. So the drive has been panning out pretty well up to this point. Oh, did click the wrong button. Quick pressure, but the pass is out. Taken down Corey Black. A great open field tackle to end the first quarter. A 4th and 3 awaits the Browns, as we'll get back to the second quarter rather quickly here. They do trot out the field goal unit. Now I do have to reset the camera, so apologies. Apparently it's not letting me buy this one. So for the field goal, assuming it's good, yes it is. Madden, thanks you for not letting me change the camera. Their offense drives, but eventually slows down. And ball's back to the Browns with a touchdown lead here. There we go. Now we're back in action. 1st and 10 at the 10 for Stafford. 6:30 to play in the second quarter. And biting down on the running back opens up Njoku. Stafford will beat you every time if you give him the space. That is what we're seeing. A good test here for the second team defense, though. Stafford will shred you. You give him the opportunity. Play action. This time it's still flat. Judkins not going to get by Wilcox. Again, these safeties showing great signs of open field tackling. But as a safety, you also need to cover someone. You can break up a pass too. That would be great. Empty set for Stafford with a 2nd and 11. There's a 1-yard loss there on 1st down. Stafford throws inside, shaking the tackle. That time Corey Black not making the play. It's a downfield. I think it was Alakai finally getting the tackle. Man coverage has not been too great here for the second team defense. The 1st and 10, they're at the midfield line. And they hand it off. Judkins nearly felled well there, but Carter doesn't secure the tackle. And again, Alakai having to get a tackle 10 to 15 yards downfield. Which, you know, for a big fella, all the props, but you want that play made at the line. He'll be out there with Alexander here. I formation, Algier the deep back. Play action. Downfield, and Banks whiffs again, and Reed will take advantage. Deontay Banks is not playing himself into a future spot on this team. Slot, he's played better. But right now, playing the outside, he's been exposed twice. Are just not quite making the play. The defense is not getting much help from the offense either. They drive, but they stall. The 17-3 here. 2-minute drive for the Browns. Still facing the number 1 offense, number 2 defense for the most part. And will hit the 2-minute warning after the quick throw. They'll have about 77 yards to go here to get back to the end zone. 3 timeouts to work with, 2 minutes on the clock, and Stafford does not like the initial look. He's going to shake things up a bit. Bunch right-hand side. And he still doesn't like the look. He changes again. Well, the defense is just going to keep changing then. Now makes it trip set left and Njoku lone right. Stafford like this one, he does. And outside, it's going to pay off. A whiff downfield. Slipping, but can't keep his feet in. Njoku with a good pop play inside 2 minutes. And just continuing to shred the secondary. 47-yard line plus side now. Stafford and the Browns. Wide open. Reed, a misstep by Rainey. He's got a third. No one in this secondary wants to cover. Now leaves a massive question mark then for the second team. Will trades be made? Do we look to get something done? Well, the offense still is not getting the job done. 38 seconds. Stafford back out onto that field. And it's going to be with a heavy set. They go to the run. Defense collapses on it. And a timeout comes in here, Coach Bearington. Defense trying to make a play here. 24-3. They did much better the last couple games defensively, even against some starters this time. Not been their lucky day. Good stop on the outside. Carter, they're back to the 2. No more timeouts remain here for the Giants. It will be a heavy set for both departments. 2-yard line. Not quite a goal line look here for the Browns. Goal line defense. And Judkins does not get away, but will not be a sack. Maurice Alakai tackles him at the line, and that should be halftime here. As they'll let that clock roll down. We'll see if they punt. Johnson set back to return, and indeed they do punt. All right then. This is the number 1 receiver. Getting an opportunity out as a punt returner, and he shows a little bit of some shiftiness, but I doubt Coach is really going to let much happen there. Wave back onto you as well. We'll jump on through halftime, getting on into the second half here. Still, our offense has yet to score anything with us not in control. That shows how much of a impact, I guess you could say, Coach Bearington has. A missed throw. Stafford's still out there, right? If so, that's his, yeah, it is still Stafford. That was his worst play we've seen. He's been perfect on every other pass. A little slow out of halftime. Getting a little rough out there for the old man. Good job, Alexander. Stuck with it. That'll be a loss. A 3rd and 11 here. Defense has not gotten a stop today. This could be a huge opportunity here. Carter trying to get the crowd pumped up. 2 receivers either side. Going downfield. Corey Black gets the pick. His second of the preseason, but cannot keep his feet. Offense will take over plus side. If Deontay Banks continues to struggle, Corey Black is telling us, give me more play time. That's not Corey Black. If you're watching and you do not know who Corey Black is, look him up and remember the face you just saw. You'll get a good laugh. Madden with an F grade on that one. And we still have not put up any points here. And it's the starting offense out there. So a little bit worrying here as they're getting their tune-up game. Judkins down the middle. We'll pick up 5. Or actually, no, we took out the starting offense. So it's not the starting offense. Which is a little breath of fresh air there, because that was a bit worrying. First down, Judkins. Defense still struggling to make their plays. If anything, one thing we've seen in this game is that the offensive line is getting somewhat of a push. Or say offensive line, defensive line is getting somewhat of a push. Trips left-hand side here. Stafford checking the sideline. He's checking the wrong sideline. He's jawing with someone on that sideline. Passes over the middle, broken up. That's the rookie. That's the plays we need. 2nd and 10. The pass falls incomplete. Again, Stafford shaking things up here. Defense will also look to shake things up, and then Stafford right back to it. Going to make this now a tight look here. Last time he won the change play battle. Pressure, Davis gets a hit in on him. Pass is thrown away. Might be able to argue who wasn't quite outside the tackle box there either, though close. 3rd and 10. Now Andrews, with a subtle bit of hype there he goes. Now he's trying to get him in it. Defense trying to pick up a stop here. To the flat, jarred away. That is Rainey. Defense gets the stop. Show the defense some love. There we go. Defense some love. And we get to do the punt returns too. So another chance here for Malik Johnson. So catch that one. No blocking left side. We need a new, not a gunner, whatever the opposite of a gunner is. The offense, still nada. But we haven't given up any second half points, and we are taking over around that goal line. Another opportunity to try to make a play here. Fullback dive, read well by Andrews. Looks like they will give him credit for about half a yard gain. Shake up this defensive look. We want something a little bit heftier here. Gonna bring out Davis, Alexander, Jones down the middle, Johnson on the other side. Look for that backside run. It's filled well by Carter, but Carter is shaken up on that stop. We're thin at that linebacker spot. He's gonna make his way to the trainer's table for now. That'll be a 3rd and 9. Defense trying to get back-to-back stops here. We got Rainey checking in at a linebacker spot. Judkins outside, Banks and Rainey will drag him down. They get the stop. They force a punt here at the 2. Hunter's going to be backed up now. Foot contusion. High risk of injury. We want him out of this one. Now give me the squeeze block here. McLeod, a lot of speed at that linebacker spot, left-hand side. Blocked well, though. That ball is down in the end zone, and it will be a safety. I'm not sure who it was, but someone backed up the up man there. That was Andrews, the rookie linebacker. Just backed him right up into the punter's foot. And I'm sure for the fullback, that can't have felt good at all. And we get some points finally. It's only a field goal. So the offense still has not gotten a touchdown.
Bronco switch, Bronco switch.
But 2 field goals and a safety have this game 24-8. The bunch left-hand side. Some rotation has occurred as Algier gets the carry. Wilcox, where are you going, my guy? Good news Banks was there. Otherwise, that might have been a touchdown. But we do see some rotation come on in here. We've got Johnson, Alakai, Alexander, Walker.
Here we go.
So, yeah, a little bit of a shakeup and a well-timed throw. Shador Sanders. I believe that's the first time we've seen him in this series behind center. He's got 2 spread either side here with a 2nd and 5. D-line shakes up their side and goes right into the area where they ran. But Barrett, what a run. I don't think he gains anything. He might have got a concussion there late as his offensive lineman falls on him. But he was hard to bring down. There was no quit in those legs. 3rd and 5 of the 43. Defense again trying to get a stop here. And Sanders has time for the completion. Banks gives it up to Harris. He is not looking good out there. Had a great season last year, but a rough preseason. Sanders barking out some calls. Still look to throw outside. Good loft, but Jenkins can't stay in bounds. If he did, he would have had the whole sideline as there was overflow from the linebacker. Sanders has had to check into this game with the injury there to Carter. As they do go to the right-hand side. Trying to get outside. Again, Algier tough to bring down, but eventually defense rallies. Another 3rd down forced. Wow. The gun. Bunch left-hand side. facing the blitz, over the middle, first down Jenkins. The safeties, backup safeties, not looking good. Perhaps that does give us a little bit of newfound respect for the starters. Talked about replacing at least one of them this last offseason. First and goal, cut back left side. Good tackle there. Andrews had to come clean it, but Black slows him down. And again, we're calling Black's name. Should he see more playing time? It's second and goal at the 4. Sanders looks to step up. No, he throws, and he's got a wide open target. Browns get their first set of points here in the second half, and they widen that lead. Offense, though, driving until they stall out. Well, we've got one more drive here today. Can someone on this defense make a play? Black has been the only guy's name who we've called in high regard in this specific game. Play action. They do hand it off, and it goes nowhere. Loss of 2, Rainey. Again, these guys are doing well when it comes to stopping the run, but tell them to cover someone, and they can't do it. Move inside a minute. We're going to see if Sanders looks to air this ball out at all. We do go play action, and right over the middle. Sucking down the linebacker, opened up the quick throw to Bryant. Brown's still going here, though this might just be the final play as we tick inside 5 seconds. Algier, the running back, they will give him one more carry. Andrews with the big hit to polish off the preseason. And the offense showed far better signs than the defense. There we go. Thanks for catching up here, Madden. 31-8. We go 2-1 in the preseason. A lot of highlights in the mix, but there are some questions that still remain. We're going to get out of Cleveland here. We're going to go talk about it in the main screen. Not even going to look at the stats because, frankly, there's not much good to look at there. We'll look at the overall stats as we look to round out the stream here. Been going for about, again, another 2.5 hour stream. And at that time, why don't we also bring myself back on into this thing? Hey, how you doing? Deontay Banks struggled massively there on the outside. He's got the good press. Should have played a little bit better. We get the man upgrade for him. +2 to that press, but not a big jump for the coverage ability there. 26 years old as well. Donovan Edwards, didn't get to see much from him. Again, we're going to check all the stats of the preseason, get our last little bit of gauge on where we think we are with some of these guys. Rainey, he's just slow. He does not match what we want in a strong safety. So I do think we should look at perhaps making some backup trades, not starter trades, though we still potentially could look to do that as well. Roseman didn't call his name at all, and that might be a good thing, honestly. Do need to see that zone improve, so we're going to focus on the zone. Otherwise, he's never going to see the field. So we'll get the zone boost here by 1, +3 play rec, some catching, and some awareness in the mix. But that is our preseason. Leave your thoughts for sure in the comments. Who played well, who got exposed, who should start, who should never see the field. Let's take a look at the overall stats. Luke Ray, again, he's going to be a fine backup. Nothing more, nothing less. We signed Daniel Jones. He'll stay on the roster because we still have some young quarterbacks. They want that mentor. But for the rushing, ETN looked very good as the replacement for Tracy, who has moved on to a new team in a trade we will talk about on Tuesday. So if you haven't already, make sure you are subscribed, either button down below or that bear icon in the bottom right corner. Completely free. Edwards, we didn't run much with him. The CPU did. Great average there. I think we have a solid 4 set of running backs. Edwards fit a little bit more towards that backup for Scattaboo. And then Israel more of that backup for ETN, if they do ever see the field. Now, Hoffman leads us in receiving yards and catches. Does not lead us actually in touchdowns. That goes to Max Young. Vallejo, though, did miss a game. So who knows? He may have actually ended up leading us, and I do think he will be the starter in the slot for us. He showed the most consistency with the hands, finding some open space. Again, do leave your thoughts on that. Did not get to see much of Trevor Redding. Will probably be a practice squad guy. Young, I think, would be that next guy available on the outside for whenever Malik Johnson or Malik Neighbors needs that breather. Maybe even some red zone appearances as well. We're going to look to shake some things up. Hoffman will rotate in if we need that speed in the slot. We might use him more as a gadget player this year. I'm going to look a little bit more into that. As for the offensive line, okay. I will say Ben Enriquez, a really good blocker. We just picked him up later round. He's a pass pro guy all the way, and against the backups, he didn't give up any sacks. We're not going to be able to use him against the run or with the run by any means, but solid backup. Rainey does lead us in tackles. Andrews just one behind. Banks also had quite a few tackles. TFL leader is Rainey and Davis. Davis with a impressive performance. And I think with that, he becomes our primary backup in the edge rush. Though apparently Cedric Walker also played pretty well too. So Davis on one side, Walker on the other. Seems pretty good. Maurice Alakai, an impressive showing as well. We will continue to see that rotation. Though, wait, no, wasn't even the right guy. Where's that other DT at? Hunter Jones just continues to not do much. He could be someone that gets traded, honestly. Could very well be traded. McLeod with a lot of tackles, a sack in there, some TFLs. I think the linebackers did a solid job. It will remain the three, but McLeod played a lot better than I thought he would. And then Corey Black, 2 interceptions. I think he deserves some more playing time. Banks did deflect too, but he gave up 2 to 3 touchdowns alone in that last game. Not as impressed with his play. But that will be where we leave things off here for today. Some questions definitely answered, some other questions arising. And the biggest one of all is, do we make the trade? Dexter Lawrence for your reigning defensive rookie of the year in Nathan Oliver. I'm going to customize this trade because there are some other pieces I think we could use or just overall improve. Less of overall picks and just one better pick. I don't need a 2030 first, maybe next year's first. But a really good corner. Banks did not play well. We're trying to make this season a little bit more difficult for us. The DT stepped up, so I think Dexter Lawrence is expendable and can join a list of players to be traded before the season starts. Leave your input in the comments here. Leave your input on the polls I will be posting as well. Make sure you have the bell notification ticked. That way you're notified of when I do post those polls or post anything on this channel. Again, as mentioned earlier, if you have not already, make sure you are subscribed. And if you enjoyed, smash up that thumbs up button. We had 2 streams here in the last couple days. We enjoyed it. We will be getting back to business next week, Monday through Friday, regularly scheduled games. Though we could be having another offseason rather shortly with Kent State. How far their season goes will be decided this next week. So a lot to look forward to. But that will be it for us here today. Preseason done and dusted. Offensive players far better than the defense. We'll see you on Monday. Gonna end this stream here. Leave any comments you have on this video. It'll be up for a little bit after. So make sure you do that. Make sure you click all those buttons. We will see you Monday.